Good afternoon and welcome to our Collier Chiropractic pregame show on Bay County TV. Jeff Doan and Jason Newsham. Glad to finally start the baseball season, and we are starting with a classic rivalry.
I tell you what, we were here in the football season, and from John Loop to Jeff Hart, it goes from one great legend here at John Glenn to another, and we're going to see a spectacular baseball game today. There's no question about it between these guys that are about to compete on the mound, going at each other. It's just like last year.
Well, last year during the regular season, Garber gets the best of them during the regular season, but in the postseason, John Glenn sought their revenge and went on a really nice run.
They did, and they've got the caliber of players, and they got the right amount of leadership, and those guys were so young last year.
Yes.
I know when we did the game last year, we talked about how young they were, and really watching the senior aspect from where Garber was bringing to the table, and then the youth aspect with John Glenn. Well, now this is their season, and that's what the way they're approaching their season to be. And they know they've got some tools for sure that they can tap into. And last year, I think, was just getting that win over Garber in the district, and the way that they did it kind of catapulted them a little bit, and that momentum has carried over to this season so far.
Well, you've used the word ace for many years at Garber in a different context. This year's ace is a pretty special individual in his own right, Max Fellows.
Max has been, he's a great athlete. He just always does. I think one of his greatest attributes is he's coachable. He wants to be coached. He loves being coached. He loves learning how to improve himself, how to improve his game, no matter what sport it is. And one thing that he, kind of relished in last year was, he was kind of in the shadow. Tommy Shapansky, the Virginia Tech baseball player, obviously took a lot of the headlines, and Max was able to slide in there as the game 2 starter, and he pitched really well. He pitched really well in the district game against John Glenn last year. So, he's not going to be a surprise to the Bobcats, but he just does so many nice things out there.
Well, Coach Jess Monka, I've been practicing it all day long. Thought I had it down pat, but he's got a group right now that's 10-1, and they're playing good baseball.
Yeah, and they've got really nothing to lose. They feel as they're the underdog this time around, and kind of can play a little bit more loosey-goosey, as I've been told in the past that the best teams usually play that way. And they can just go out there, do their thing. They've been playing baseball. I mean, these guys have been playing together with guys from John Glenn, against each other in the summer. So, their familiarity with them is really what makes this game special.
Off the field, they're all friends, and they have all intertwined and played through their careers. But when they don the different colored jerseys, this is always something really special. On the other side, we've got 869 wins and counting for the ageless wonder, Coach Hart.
Well, it's funny. They got Loop as a legend football coach, Hart as the baseball coach. We got Quillard and Jasmonka. We got to get easier names over at Garber. But Coach Hart has been here. I mean, it's funny because I don't even know who the previous coach was, because he was coaching here when I played
back
against
in the
John
80s,
Glenn.
Yeah.
So it's that's what I know when I think of John Glenn baseball. And he has always done such a great job in being an advocate, not just for his players here, but, the Northwest Little Leagues, the Pony Leagues. He really wants to see the growth of baseball. He's a baseball nut. There's nowhere else he'd rather be, sunflower seeds and, baseball game, whether it's on the radio, the transistor, or, TV. That's what he does. That's who he is, and he can't get enough of it.
Hell, he's definitely, in the purest sense, a baseball junkie, and that's good. They're 12-1 on the season. And again, as we talked earlier, they had a maturation process last year, and they really flicked the switch at the end of the regular season. And the young people's success at the end of last year should make this year's team really special.
It is, and, you look at the way they started, I believe they're number 5 in the state right now, and, certainly deserve all of that, if not more. Their one blemish came in the county tournament. It was, you play 3 games in 2 days. Sometimes you don't play your best ball, and it's just the way it goes. And that's what baseball is, and that's why the districts and getting ready for the districts is so important. And playing in those type of games against other high caliber teams helps really get you ready. From the standpoint is when you get to tournament time, these are the games that really you show that maturation. How do you handle coming back? Do you keep your head down? What do you do as leaders on the team? As a coaching staff, you kind of go back a little bit and see what players are going to step up, what players are going to bring the younger ones together. And they've got so many players on this team. I mean, you look up and down the lineup, and There used to be a time where you could go, there's an out, there's an out. You get to their ninth batter. Heck, they can throw 3 guys pinch hitting that are no guaranteed outs, which makes them fun.
Well, and then you've got Sontag and Krzyzak, 2 1 and 1A interchangeable aces on this team.
And that's the other thing is as you continue to build and develop that depth, getting these guys meaningful innings early against quality teams, that's going to be a big thing.
If you think we're excited and pumped up and ready for the action today, you are absolutely correct. Back with all the game action in just a minute as that puts the wrap on our Collier Chiropractic pregame show here on Bay County TV.
Come see the difference at Collier Chiropractic. We are a family-owned local business located in Bay City that offers innovative treatment and care for our patients. If you're in pain, stressed out, and you don't have time for that, taking care of your pain safely and naturally is what we do best. At Collier Chiropractic, we have an award-winning chiropractic and massage therapy team. We believe in delivering the best care and service to every patient. We offer same-day appointments, evenings, and Saturday morning appointments. If you've tried other chiropractic care, physical therapy, or even medication with no results, visit Collier Chiropractic.
Well, good afternoon and welcome back to what I'm going to call sun-soaked because based on what we've seen, Jason, for the last week, there's little peaks of sun, and that's a noticeable improvement from the all overcast.
Well, give it that credit. It's a beautiful day for a ball game in April. As Sontag comes out throwing hard and fellows swinging hard.
Well, and we anticipate both of these pitchers being around home plate all day long. Sontag, he'll come in the low mid 80s and has a variety of pitches, and that's kind of what I call a purpose pitch on 0-1. You kind of got a good whack on that first as, saying, hey, I took a good swing. Now I'm going to move those feet and back you up a little bit. 1-1 the count. Hit the shortstop. Krzyzak, very sure-handed one. Quick, easy, smooth motion. 1 up and 1 down for the Garber Dukes.
Tell you what, for you guys watching at home, you're going to notice if you watch that sequence again, the first pitch was high fast. Good swing by Fellows, came inside and then went away from him. You don't want to move him away when you want to go to the outside corner. And, because of that, you don't get all the stick on the ball, and all of a sudden you're just hitting a little easy routine ground ball to Krzyzak at shortstop.
Sontag coming high and wide. I like the fact, though, that Fellows went with the pitch. He didn't try pulling that, because every time you try and pull that outside pitch, you're going to hit it to the second baseman. Krzyzak covers a little bit of ground out there and is a very technically sound shortstop. So pretty much when it comes to him, they call him Kirby out there. He'll suck up everything coming his way.
Oh, he's got great anticipation. He's been around the game since, I don't know, probably even before he
was born, yes. As a 2-1 count, as Coquillard takes a healthy whack at that 2-0 pitch, and that's what you like, man. You like that aggressive hitter. You're pretty certain you're going to see a fastball, and you let it fly.
Well, you do, and you get a good cut on it and see what you're going to get. Oh, whew.
Paint in the corner.
Well, you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. Little Sherwin-Williams right there.
You got to love that. It's 2-2 as Sontag comes back from 2-0 with 2 great pitches in a row here. Coquillard looking things over and shies away from a pitch on the outside, and I think Sontag wanted that ball on the outside to see if he'd offer at it, but now we got a full count, and I know Sontag well enough to know he's going to be around the plate.
Yeah, I think that last one he may have just pulled a little too hard off.
Great swing and a miss again as Sontag goes down in the zone And Coquillard is out number 2 in the first.
Bringing up Ethan Burrows.
Oh, we remember this young man with a great set of hands in football.
Mm-hmm.
And a little scary injury in football in the Swan Valley game that we did, but he's come back from that very, very well, and he's ready to rock here for baseball season.
Rock and roll. It's, and that's, again, we were talking about 2 pitchers that will keep that ball right around the plate, makes this game so much more enjoyable, not just from a broadcast standpoint, but as a player, knowing that your pitcher can do what he does, keeps it healthy, keeps everything moving around, and allows you an opportunity to make some plays out there.
Well, and the biggest thing for me as a defensive player, when you know you've got a pitcher that is going to get the ball around the plate, he works quickly, you're on the balls of your feet. You're never on your heels. You're always ready to make plays, and it's fun as a defense to know that you got a pitcher that's throwing strikes. 0-2 pitch. Just a miss on the outside corner. Again, don't think he could have put that in a more perfect position. And good job that time by Burrows to lay off that pitch. It's 1-2.
Rogers did a nice frame job. He slid up just a little bit too far outside for the umpire's liking to get that corner call.
And on the outside, too, went with a little off-speed pitch and tried to entice Burrows to go after it. But, again, I like the slot position of our home plate umpire. The last couple of years, they've strongly encouraged these guys to go back on the inside slot as ball 3 is their full count now. You stay on that inside slot, and your opportunities to get hit by that foul tip have greatly decreased, and we need longevity with our officials, so we got to keep them in one piece.
All of our officials, no matter what sport.
3-2 count. Here's a high foul ball out of play.
Is it a popcorn ball? Take it to the concession stand?
If we were at Coryell, we'd be getting free corn.
That'd been the first one out the press box.
You're in the full count with 2 outs and nobody on. And ball 4 as Burrows goes from an 0-2 count and is the first base runner of this afternoon's ball game.
I think the one thing you're talking about, the patience and fouling off a couple of those pitches that Burrows had to. Again, it's a duel. It's the pitcher versus the batter, and right, that one Burrows wins. But you wonder, if you could extend a couple more of these innings with pitch count and everything else, then all of a sudden you start getting maybe a little tired, a little fatigue, and see if that starts to play into effect.
Well, and I didn't talk to Coach Hart about any potential pitch counts, but I'm well aware of the fact it's still fairly early in the season, and I got to believe 60 to 70 pitches would be in the realm of these guys right now. But in order to be successful in the air, you got to have 5 or 6 arms that are going to be able to come in and throw strikes.
Absolutely. And they have them. I mean, Ruff just pitched a stellar game the other night, and he comes in on the.
It's going to go out of play as that goes down the right field line. And again, our first opportunity to be up here in the brand-new press box that has become a very spacious press box. We'd like to have all the other places that we go take a peek at how they've got this laid out with a little press row in the back so they can really incorporate about 15 or so people up here as a throwback to first base. And unlike major leagues, you can throw there more than twice.
I tell you what, I didn't know that if there's a shot clock for the pitchers at the high school level, but Sontag is working quickly.
He's got a rhythm. There's a high pitch and a great jump by Burrows down to second, and he is in safely with the steal. Tough pitch for Rogers to get back there. Low and inside. Had to make sure that he was able to get it in his glove before he could transition, and Burrows stole that base maybe on Sontag.
He did, because if you get a chance to get a break like Burrows did and you break it on a curveball, that's even more to your liking.
And strike 3 is painting the outside corner. Sontag says, don't worry about it. We'll strand a runner at second. No score. Take a quick break and be back with the bottom of the first here on BCTV.
For over 75 years, Frank's Great Outdoors has served as the Great Lakes Bay region's premier hunting, fishing, and outdoor shopping destination. What started in the mid-1940s as a roadside bait and tackle stand has now blossomed into a 30,000 square foot outdoorsman's dream shopping location. Stop by the store located at 1212 North Huron Road in Linwood or shop online at franksgreatoutdoors.com to find everything you need to get your next outdoor adventure started.
Back here on Bay County TV, Jeff Doan and Jason Newsham, glad to have you along. Bottom of the first right now is Brody Krzyzak will lead things off for the John Glenn Bobcats. And when you're not pitching, you're playing shortstop, and you're the leadoff hitter. You've had some success in your career at John Glenn.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to, well, not that pitch. I'll talk more about Brody later.
Look at Fellows fighting that sky right there, and that was a major league pop-up.
That was, but let me tell you something. When I played, that was the first baseman. You never let your pitcher come off of the mound because of where the mound's at and how the grade is up there, and you don't want him going backwards. And nobody, everyone just stood. I was like,
well, if Max says he wants it, Max will get it. One pitch and one down as Fellows comes inside on the first offering to our second hitter, and that's Rogers. So the probable starting pitcher in the second game will be Krzyzak, and he and Rogers battery mates and teammates for a few games, I would say.
They may have played a fair share of games together.
There is another high, lazy fly ball to center field, and Sella's out there and gobbles it up for 2 up and 2 down in the bottom of the first inning for the John Glenn Bobcats.
Just going to talk about the same thing. Fellows came in twice inside and then ends up going outside. And I think that's the best part about it is these pitchers know what they're doing. Their coaching that they've received over the years is just incredible, and they know the mindset, the IQ part of pitching, and that's the part that I think gets lost on people when they're watching.
Nathan Ball up right now, and it's great as he walks into the box. I look right out at all three of the outfielders, and they're taking a few steps back. This is a gentleman that can stretch the field in a hurry, loves to hit the gaps, and can certainly put the ball over the fence, and he's a pleasure to watch. Coming off an injury last year, came back very well, and very well put together young man.
Well, I tell you, the one part about his game, and again, going back, and I've said this a lot about the John Glenn players, is the IQ part of it. And the approach that they take is very business-like, but yet very fun-like. You know, it's a business from a sense they understand what their mission and their goals and objectives are, but they still have a fun way to approach it. And he's definitely a key contributor to this team's success.
3-1 right now as he's worked the count with a great eye up at the plate, and he's pretty certain Fellows is going to come with something of his liking right now, and he slaps it up the middle. And what a great play by the shortstop as Burrow's able to get that ball and send it to first. 3 up and 3 down at the end of 1. No score. Back for the second inning in a moment on BCTV. Inside, outside, or even in your home, there are lots of ways to enjoy amazing food from Bay City Bills. Our dining room is ready for you, and we are ready for you with takeout too. Stop in to Bay City Bills at 1215 Michigan Avenue or find us on Facebook or at www.baycitybills.com to see our full menu. Back for the top of the second inning and a great first inning. If you like good defense and good pitching, nothing really hit solid in that first inning, so pitchers get the check mark for inning number 1.
Well, now it's time to move on to inning number 2, and starting off with a strike on the inside corner. Sella looks back at the umpire and says, come on, man, I just made a nice play out there.
Well, and I made this comment last year. It seems like every year the batters get closer to home plate in their stance than years previous. Now, When I played, I enjoyed going to right center field, so I would be almost mid-box, and if that ball was on the outside, I would stride into it and go with it that way, but their hands seem to be so much quicker these days that they're able to do it. There is a little ground ball and gobbled up, thrown off the base. It looks like a Ruff made that errant throw, and McKenzie couldn't bring it down, so first runner on base for the second inning for the Garber Dukes.
A couple things there. The ball was high, but really credit to McKenzie for coming off. A lot of times players will, try and keep their foot on and end up flying that one over over his head, and then all of a sudden you got a guy in second or third, depending on how far the ball goes. So, Way to get off the bag there, young Chad McKenzie's dad, Ben McKenzie. Ruff had a tough play. He had didn't have a lot of time and rushed it a little bit. When you get that body motion going one way, and sometimes you don't snap it, you just let it fly.
Well, when you got what I call like a swinging bunt, something that doesn't really give Ruff much time to use any technique, he just goes out, and McKenzie scooping one up very well, too, as Rogers threw to first base. And kind of like that as a base runner on first base. You like the pitcher and the defense to be aware of the fact that you're there. Kind of adds an element to the base running.
Yeah, absolutely. Except he's not too careful over there. The one thing about Sontag is shoulders open up there, so it makes that throw a little bit easier versus when he comes to his set and then he has to turn and open up. Like that right there. He's already got it set. Show a little bunt action.
Another high and outside as Sontag has got a 1-1 count here as the first bunt was offered at. It wasn't a strike, but obviously with him offering at it, it's 1-1.
Yeah, Leland O'Leary up the bat as he puts one almost back to us.
Yep, would have had the glove. We might have had an opportunity. That would have been more going at Nick Page than us. But
well, you got to give him something to do.
And, the more you see people bunt, the more I look at, boy, it's not the art that it was back in the day, and it can be such a useful tool. And watched it at the Major League last night as the Tigers actually had their cleanup hitter last night in an 0-for-19 slump, and he bunts his way to first base and then hits a home run. There's a hit batter.
Speaking of hit.
The front shoulder of O'Leary got plugged as Sontag tried to come high and tight and might have lost the grip on that a little bit.
Just needs to take a couple of deep breaths. That again, a guy like Tanner Sontag who's pitched enough over the years, and not just here at Glen, but on the travel circuit and showcases and things of that sort. A player like that, that's the reason that you sign with Oakland University and have that opportunity to do that, to continue your baseball and your academic career in college. So
well, and he's throwing upper 80s. I was misinformed earlier, and he's hit upwards of 92 on the gun in the past, but being earlier in the season, a little bit chilly outside, I would say 88, 89 is not out of the realm, and in high school, that's bringing it. There is a foul bunt.
Ooh, good try, Brady.
Rogers came back and just could not extend to that enough as Arn Brewster up to bat right now, trying to put two runners in scoring position with a successful sacrifice bunt. And
I think that's one of the reasons I love high school baseball and coaches who get the small ball. And we see it a lot here at John Glenn. So, I would expect the same situation. All of their players. Last year we watched Krzyzak, one of their best hitters in the lineup, bunt. So they're all understand how to play the game and what needs to happen.
Right up in front, and a great play to third base, and keeping that back leg on the base. Rogers wanted that back with a good throw. There was an opportunity for the out at third, and that's a chance you take, a calculated risk as a catcher, and didn't work out well for the Bobcats. So now with the bases loaded and nobody out, options for Coach Jasmonka are endless.
Yeah, I think the other thing, there was some miscommunication because Ruff was off of the bag on the throwdown. So even on a great throw, he was still off the bag. So he would have had to apply the tag on that. So now they bring the infield in at the corners. Yeah, in at the corners. There's still a double play. It's early. Coach Hart's over there just chewing the sunflower seeds, going, hey, it's
that's my
13th game of the year.
My favorite part of the season, man, getting the back pocket full of sunflower seeds and having some fun.
The other thing he's thinking about, he goes, this isn't Tanner's first rodeo, and this is good for him too. Let's see how he responds to a errant throw and a bunt. Another foul ball gets out of play, brings up 1 ball, 2 strikes on who we got up to bat right now. Is that Pet? Okay. But going back to it again, a guy who's been there, done it, but see how he responds. See where your leadership, see who's out there talking, who's communicating from the bench, the words of encouragement. No one's getting down out there in the white jerseys.
And by the way, infield fly rule is in effect right now. I did see the officials motion to each other, but that's I love the nonverbals that the officials use to communicate throughout the game. Good pitchers count here at 1 and 2. Sontag comes with a perfectly placed pitch from the Bobcat standpoint, and the strikeout of Pett kind of puts the double play back into play here to potentially end the inning. As Garber says, we just looking for one base hit here and see if we can take the lead in this ball game.
Yeah, looks like Ryan Brake's coming up the bat,
Yep.
the bottom ninth hitter in the lineup. That's a great placement right there. Not only was the pitch great, but just how Rogers is framing that. And it's, hey, if you start moving and you start sliding out and all of a sudden the umpire has to guess what it is, it's a ball.
And I would say of all the other advancements in baseball, catchers learning how to frame pitches has become a huge art.
Right, and another swing and a miss there by Brake puts him in an 0-2 count. And as Tanner's just going, you know what? We're just going to go one batter at a time. That's all I can do.
Well, like you said, it's not his first rodeo, and we'll see what he's made of here as he tries to wiggle out of this jam. And nice job by Bray as he holds off on what could have been strike number 3. And again, I think that pitch is exactly where Sontag wanted it, hoping that he would go up after that high heat and not be able to catch up to it.
Well, I tell you what, if he would have swung all the way through, he wasn't catching up with it. So he was great by holding off, but it was a great pitch. Shoulder high, that one's just a little low. But again, he's playing the game up and down, in and out.
And
Just
again,
like an elevator.
Rogers just doing a great job. And you got to be careful sometimes as a catcher. That move has got to be subtle. When you try and move your glove too much, the umpire's got a pretty good view of that as he follows it all the way to the catcher's mitt. So
yeah, don't make him guess. That's what I'm saying. If you can hold it, and that's there it goes. that's the one.
He didn't have to frame that. That was perfectly thrown, and 2 straight strikeouts as the Garber Dukes are hoping from their standpoint that they can get something on the board here in the top of the second. But Sontag has pitched himself a gem here to help get himself in a position to get out of trouble.
Well, if you're going to help yourself, you want to be at the plate to do it with bases loaded as pitcher Max Fellows comes swinging at pitch number 1, follows it off down the third baseline. He's going to have an opportunity. He, first inning, he's 0 for 1 on the game right now and would love a little bit more opportunity to get some runs in and support his cause a little bit.
I like the fact, though, on the foul ball as well as the one he hit in the first inning, not afraid to go the other way.
No, and that's what he did. Let's see if Sontag comes inside a couple of times and moves him back a little bit. Here we go. Oh, got away from Rogers, and nobody advanced.
It's early in the game, and you don't want to end an inning. If you've got less than 2 outs, might be a different call. But you've got Coach Jess Monka right there, so he's real close to give his opinion, and his opinion matters whether he's going or not.
I don't know. Sorry, if you're on third base and that ball goes to the backstop of a high school baseball field, you've got to be able to get in there.
Well,
unless you pull a hammy. But again, he comes on the inside, tries to back Max up a little bit. Another inside pitch, and let's see if he stays true to form and works this one outside.
Let's see if we can develop a pattern here.
Yeah, and
Coach.
Then let's see if Max can feel what he's going to be bringing.
Right down the middle, great pitch, great swing, and wasn't able to barrel it up. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
That was just your best versus my best, and not by much, but I'll give the Sontag the win on that one. Not by much.
That's again, 2 great athletes battling each other here, and certainly for Fellows would be a big feather in his cap to get a base hit, but for Sontag to work his way out of a bases loaded, nobody out jam. And he does that indeed. And what a great way for the Bobcats to get out of trouble in the top of the second inning. We'll take a quick break and be back for the bottom of the second in a moment on BCTV.
Village Towing and Auto Repair of Kaukaulin and Bay City is here to help you in your hour of need with fast and friendly service. With over 30 years of towing experience, we know how to get the job done quickly and safely. From big to small, we do it all. Give us a call at 989-684-9607 for all your towing needs.
Back here on Bay County TV, ready for the bottom of the second inning. As back to the mound goes Mr. Fellows, and first pitch inside.
Sontag up to bat for the Bobcats. So, again, pitcher versus pitcher here in this battle. Going to be 1 ball, no strikes as that one errantly goes to the backstop. A little crowd, actually not crowd cheering, but student cheering, some player, teammate cheering from the dugout, trying to get something going, maybe get a little rattle out there on Mr. Fellows.
1 ball and 1 strike as Fellows comes right back with a strike. And love the fact that both of these pitchers are going to be around the plate. Tried to change speeds right now and opened up a little early. That was a little high and away, so 2 balls and 1 strike here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Sontag trying to make something happen here to help his pitching, and perfectly thrown ball on the inside of the plate.
Ball just broke right across.
Sontag might have been leaning a little to the outside looking for something there, and it's a guessing game with these 2 crafty pitchers.
Well, you like to consider it more of a chess matchup with your pawn to your rook, and he says, let me send this one deep center field.
Boy. And that,
I'm sorry, but you have one umpire that needs to be running out there. Well, that's what don't.
And
I thought you were one umpire. I thought he was supposed to run out there to verify and then raise his hand, or as an out or open as safe.
I'm pretty certain I did not see that ball hit the ground. So
we're gonna give him a double,
okay.
unless we're gonna go to New York real quick. Got a challenge on the play.
So base umpire, we did not get a safe for an out. The home plate umpire looked like he signaled out. And then the base umpire said, I didn't signal out because he didn't catch the ball. So I'm going to tell you what, that ball went 377 feet right out to the fence in center field. And Sontag starts the inning off wonderfully. Here's a play to third base. Sontag might have just run himself into an out.
They switched. They had a pinch runner out there. I didn't catch the pinch runner's number.
Okay.
Colton Beeson, we've been told by the expert here in the press box.
But how about, Pat, to have that ball in the dirt, to find it and then throw a strike to third base, boy, that changes the complexion of this inning in a big way.
Yeah, a little bit of hesitation there, too, on the base runner. This Fellows goes back to work, coming on the inside. TJ Kwiklinski. A good Polish boy from the south end.
The south end, indeed.
If not, he's definitely in the wrong the wrong zip code.
I was going to say if he's not, I would say somewhere in the genealogy. There's a little of that.
We got a mask coming off. The couple balls the umpire's looking for. He's telling you go that way, I'll go this way, and my mask will go back on, and we'll pitch to another day, another pitch.
2 balls and 1 strike, the count here with 1 down and nobody on for the John Glenn Bobcats. Fellows with a high, lazy fly ball, and that's going to be the shortstop Burrows going out to make the catch. And I could tell looking at Schmidt, and Schmidt was playing back pretty far. He might have had trouble getting to that, but Burrows said, never fear, I'll just slide out and pick it up.
Well, that was the one thing, too. If you notice the wind coming off that flag out there in center field, it is blowing in a little bit from left field, so Burrows definitely made the right decision getting back there, getting around the ball, and coming into it as Hayden Ruff steps into the plate for the Bobcats.
Knee-high fastball over the middle of the plate. Ruff takes strike 1.
This kid may have played a little bit of baseball so far in his life. He may have been on a state championship Little League team back in the day.
Yeah.
He may have been a key contributor to that team, as a lot of these Bobcats are.
Well, and you look at these kids from both teams, and they've got vast Little League experience. They've got Pony League experience, and it's just a treat to see the level of ball. And there's a medium depth fly ball, and
Schmidt coming back in.
Schmidt was kind of fooled by it at first, but able to corral it back in. 3 up and 3 down in the bottom of the 2nd inning. After 2, no score. Back in a minute for the 3rd on Bay County TV.
Thinking about high-quality education with highly qualified teachers and a wide variety of quality programs? Look no further than Bay City Public Schools.
There's wonderful teachers, wonderful educators, administrators. It's a great place to go to school.
We include everybody and we have a very diverse student base.
At Bay City Public Schools, the teachers are truly there to see the students succeed.
Bay City Public Schools, exceptional opportunities for all. Call us to enroll today, 989-686-9700.
Back here for the start of the third inning. As Jeff Doan and Jason Newsham, glad to have you along. And the pitchers through 2 innings have won, even though Sontag got out of a bases loaded, nobody out jam in the second inning. Comes with the first pitch just a little bit low.
Both pitchers kind of got tested there in the second inning. You know, Sontag with the bases loaded issue, no outs, and then, Fellows gives up the double to Sontag to start off the inning and pitch his way out of it as a shot out to center field. Nicky Naylor will cap underneath it, and Nick's been playing this game of baseball for as many years as I can remember coaching him in basketball. Him, Hayden, quite a few of these sophomores that are up here for John Glenn. So, as much as we talk about their veterans on this team, they still have a lot of youth that are going to be here for a couple more years and keep John Glenn relevant in the top 10 baseball scene.
As Coach Hart goes tickling to 900 wins, as Sontag snaps a little Charlie there, and quick knee bend by Burrows. Wasn't expecting it.
Well, Burrows got down 0-2 last time, and he didn't bat an eye. He ended up taking a walk and fouling a couple pitches off in that battle, but he ended up winning it, get to first base, got the steal. Unable to generate anything after that, but sawed him off.
Little looper that just gets in between the 3, and it looked like a lazy pop, but it's a line drive in the book, and it's a leadoff single.
I think his wooden bat may have broken that one. He got sawed off at the hands, but just put enough juice on it to get it over Krzyzak's head at shortstop. And definitely, with the way Nick and TJ are playing out in the outfield, that was going to be a tough catch. That was either going to be a seeing eye single or an incredible play by Krzyzak.
And when you get sawed off of the hands there and you have enough strength to still muscle that ball into the no man's land out there in the outfield, that's a great piece of hitting.
Tomorrow's paper is just going to say that I had 3 hits or 2 hits. It's not going to say how they looked.
First pitch is a strike and a stolen base for the Bobcats as Schmidt called strike number 1, but allowed Burrows to get down to second base. And again, looks like the game plan for Garber is to make it happen on the base paths.
Well, you got to generate something. Try to generate something. You got some good speed out there. Like we said, we talked about his hands in football, but Burrows had some good speed out there as well. Let's see if Schmidt does anything with maybe button him over, trying to get him to third. And no, he's just going to look at another strike.
Boy, and that's a ball I like to see as a hitter. Knowing the situation, it's on the outside third of the plate. Just slap it to second base and
advance the runner.
Get the runner on third base with 1 out, but it was a great pitch from Sontag. As that ball is inside again, purpose pitch, move the feet.
0-2, you got plenty of pitches to play with. Now, the thing is, he struck him out on a outside corner where Schmidt was caught looking there in inning number 1. Let's see if that inside moves Rogers. You can see his slides a little bit as he goes back to the outside, and just a bit, just a touch, a smidge.
Just gets a piece of that to stay alive, and, didn't look like a pitch that he could do a whole lot with, but he lives for another.
Well, if he doesn't swing at it, it's strike 3, so you got to put, choke it up and see what you can do, but you got to try to put the ball in play.
As Krzyzak dancing around back there, trying to keep things close.
Speaking of dancing, that ball, woo, take me to the prom.
That thing had
just
at least
dropped it.
6 inches of movement, and not the best swing that Schmidt ever had, but he was fooled on the pitch, and he just tried to get a piece of it to foul it off. And
you go from upper, 88, 89 to a 77-mile-per-hour dancer? No, thank you. I enjoy my days here in the booth. Looking down there, I'd look like he did.
All right, Sella with the first swing and a miss, and guessed right. Got a very hittable pitch, but just enough movement on it that Sella swung through it.
This is the one thing, too, that Sontag has been doing even on the plays where the Dukes may have gotten on base. He's just working ahead. He's working quick, working ahead. That first pitch strike just allows your arsenal to be so much more. And, again, with the experience that he brings to the table, even going down 2-0, you still bring an arsenal to the table. But that first pitch strike is so important for these guys.
It sets everything up. As another hit batter is, again, your option is to try and move the feet, but just got away from him a little bit, too far inside, and the Dukes have something going here in the third inning.
I remember getting hit by Mark Bloomshield from John Glenn in high school, and he was a hard-throwing lefty, and he just threw so hard that no matter how bad I wanted to get out and as bad as my head was telling me to move, I just said, you know what, here, take the ribs. I had Rawlings tattooed and stitched to my ribs for about 2 weeks. We always joked about it afterwards because we played Pony League All-Stars, Coat League All-Stars together, but God, that hurt.
That is a stinger. When you get the stitch marks, you got it good. Pitch just a little bit high as the batter O'Leary is ahead in the count 1-0. 2 runners on again. And 2 out here in the third inning, the top of the third. Swing and a miss.
He's a little bit behind it. I think, again, going back to your IQ and, between Rogers and the coaching staff and Tanner, going, you know what, they're not catching up to it. Let's go back and let's give another hard one. Let me get up ahead 1-2, then let me play a little bit on what I'm going to do to him.
Well, and his secondary pitch is so good, too. It isn't. Like he just throws it to show it. It's a strikeout or a swing and miss pitch. As 1-2 is.
Well, he got ahead again. Now he's got that chance. Now he can play a little bit. I'd still say go. What they say in Major League: stick with the heater.
See if he goes upstairs with that.
Oh.
And again,
he did. He went upstairs.
He went upstairs, but a little high and tight again, and his third hit batter of the game. And he finds himself for the second inning in a row with the bases loaded. And this time with 2 outs instead of none. See if he can wiggle his way out of this again.
Now back in, again, I'm saying a lot, but back in my day, you hit more than 2 guys, you were automatically asked to exit the game as a pitcher. So I'm glad to see the rules have changed a little bit to make an interpretation maybe for the umpire.
Well, and Armbruster comes up to bat right now, too, and you just saw the previous pitch high and tight. You might not be dug in on that first pitch as much as you would normally be there until you see, oh, cool, Sontag's right back around the plate where he wants to be, and I can dig in and see if I can make something happen.
Well, this is a big opportunity again for the Dukes to put a couple of runs on the board. It's also a big opportunity for Sontag to buckle down as that one's a little outside. But, stick with what you're good at right now. Stick with your heater. Keep it up there. Hit your spots. That's right now what Rogers is telling him. Hit the glove, buddy. Hit the glove.
And, again, like the pace at which Sontag is throwing, he's not wasting any time out there. And what a beautiful pitch. And Armbruster knew he was going to get something good to hit, and he just swung right straight through it.
Well, sometimes you just tip your hat to the pitcher, and I think this is going to be another fastball. If I had to guess, maybe outside. He likes the outside corner. Yeah, and so did Armbruster as again, 2 strikes. You got to put the bat on the ball. And he fouls that one out of play as we will resume the 2-2 count.
You waste a good pitcher's pitch by fouling it off.
Yeah.
Live for another swing. That ball, does it see eyes?
Yes, it does.
And it's probably going to bring in 2 runs as it sits so softly. Not a lot that they can do to stop that. And advancing to third base, they've got 2 runners in and runners on the corner.
Yeah, first and third. I tell you what, again, it's not how it's going to read in the paper tomorrow, but you just happen to hit it. And again, it was a great pitch. It's where you wanted it, got it the outside. But when you're down 2 strikes, you just put the bat on the ball and hope for the best. And just like Burrows that got over Krzyzak's head, that one right there got between second baseman Borowski and McKenzie, the first baseman, and a couple runs are in for the Dukes.
Well, and again, it was an outside third pitch. Didn't try and do anything special with it. He sent it to right field, and It was just hard enough hit that it went over McKenzie's head and fell softly into right field.
I'll tell you what, ball came up thrown, and Rogers did a really nice job of knocking that ball down to stop any other advancement of the runners out there. A lot of those little things you don't see. Even though he had backup, it's still nice to knock that ball down, keep that man at first base if you can.
So 2 on and 2 out right now. 2 runs in. 2s are wild for the Garber Dukes here in the third. And 3 balls and no strikes. And I wouldn't even suggest that Sontag is rattled right now, but I think he might just be trying to overthrow a little bit. Needs to just settle back in and get back into the rhythm. And what better way than a 3-0 count where you're pretty certain the batter is just going to take it, and it was right down Broadway.
Yeah, it was right down Broadway. Get that momentum back. Come back again. Down to Ruff at third. Ruff to McKenzie.
Takes a couple of steps. McKenzie, nice that you got a big body over there. He can lean up that first baseline and reel it in, keeping the big toe on first base. After the middle of the third inning, the Garber Dukes score 2 and up 2-0. Back with the bottom of the third in a moment on Bay County TV.
There's just one place where students are students first, and athletics are played with purpose and perspective. That place is your local high school. High school sports offer more than the joy of competition. Studies show that student athletes are also likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in other areas of their lives, including academics. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education.
Back here on Bay County TV, bottom of the third inning. And the Garber Dukes with a 2-0 lead. The John Glenn Bobcats are going to see offensively what they can do in the bottom of the third to change theirs. First pitch swinging. A high pop up on the infield, and that is gobbled up in a hurry.
O'Leary
One out
there
for O'Leary.
Yeah, I didn't even get a chance to say it. Remington ranked the designated hitter for the Bobcats coming up there. You know, Max doesn't throw necessarily overpower speed-wise, so sometimes you go up there and that little junk just looks so nice to rather than, but they haven't really made him work yet. So it'll be interesting and nice right there by McKenzie to take a pitch. Let him. The same thing we talked about with Sontag. Let him throw some pitches. Make him throw pitches. Make him work.
Fellows has put himself into just a really nice rhythm right now, and he's moving the ball in and out and up and down. He's changing speeds, and you got to love that. I look over and see Eric Debo over there calling pitches from the dugout, and what a great job of McKenzie just to get a little piece of that ball as Fellows again comes with the off-speed stuff, and I would think after seeing off-speed, you're probably going to see heat.
Well, heat's going to look a lot faster, too. Another foul ball right there off of
Pet.
As I say, I thought it was off the umpire. It's just like he didn't move, he didn't flinch.
Might have hit a touch of Pet first, but definitely got a little chunk of the home plate umpire. They just brush it off. He said he's felt that little fly hit him for about 40 years and nothing to it. And on the outside corner, McKenzie wasn't probably the happiest guy in town with that call, but consistent strike right along the outside corner.
Again, he hit the spot. You know, Fellows, that fastball, when he throws that junk, it just looks that much faster, like it pops out. But he reminds me of a Tom Glavine-esque, Steve Avery-esque of the Atlanta Braves of the late 80s and early 90s. He just, all of a sudden, it just sneaks up there on you, and all of a sudden 82 looks like it's 90.
Now Naylor with a swing and miss at the first pitch.
Nick Naylor, the center fielder for the Bobcats, sophomore.
Boy, Naylor again had another good, healthy swing, but Fellows really changing speeds and keeping the batters off balance.
He's doing a great job of that, but he's not throwing a lot of pitches. I think that's something that you're going to have to see in the next couple of innings for John Glenn is take some. Let's let him work 2-3 pitches before we start getting a little over anxious up there at the plate.
And again, he's not wasting much time. He gets that ball back and he's going pretty quick to the plate to make things happen. The pitch just a little bit too high.
Nice eye by Naylor.
Naylor takes that pitch, but I think that's about where he wanted that pitch. His Fellows wanted to see if he'd do a little fishing.
Yeah. It's all right. See if he comes back with a little off speed, maybe a little breaking ball.
And the outside third with a strikeout to end the inning. At the end of 3, it's 2-0 Garber. Back for the top of the 4th in a moment on BCTV.
Is your pain holding you back from things you enjoy, like playing with your grandchildren or participating in a sport? At Collier Chiropractic, we specialize in neck pain, back pain, headaches, or sciatica that won't go away. If you've tried chiropractic, you've tried physical therapy, you've gone to your medical doctor with no results, or you take medication and it doesn't even touch your pain, then put this number in your phone, give us a call, see how we are different at Collier Chiropractic Bay City.
Back here on BCTV as we go to the top of the 4th inning. A pretty briskly played game thus far as we're nearing the halfway point of this game 1. And again, last year, to recap quickly, Garber owned the double dip early in the season in a game that was on Bay County TV, but John Glenn got revenge and made a nice run through the playoffs to set the stage. Yep, that would have been yours, Jason. Without the fence there and without the glass in front of us, you would have had a souvenir.
I thought the golden pen would have saved us, but he bailed out of the press box.
Well, he forgot his gloves, so he was going back to safer ground.
He's like a kid in a candy store. So we got Brays up to bat, number 12 for the Dukes, the sophomore. The freshman Ryan Bray.
Yep, one of 2 freshmen that they ended up bringing up. Numbers for Duke baseball were down just a little bit this year, but success level not down.
No. And again, we're talking about how these guys have been able, these coaches, Jizmanka and Hart specifically, but been able to really cultivate their programs, and that's a strike.
Wow.
He watched that one go right across the plate, and he just followed it along, followed right down to first base line.
That's a knee buckler right there. What a great pitch from Sontag. Totally fooled the batter, and he was sold on the fact that it was coming inside. And, when you're just a touch wild in the game, that really makes that pitch that much more effective as he tried to come with something on the outside right now. So Sontag using the whole arsenal right now and pitching very well.
Yeah, pitching very well. Get a chance right here against Fellows as Fellows comes up for the 3rd time, bounces over to McKenzie. McKenzie's going to take it himself. And Tanner, you could have stayed home on that one. I got you. I got you covered, big fella.
And that looks like an easy routine play, but as a first baseman, you got to get your feet set. You've got to scoop up the ball, and then you got to be aware of where the runner's coming down so that you can get to first base. You find the base, and you get to it ahead of the runner. He made it look easy.
Well, you're coming off. You want to get it while it's on the grass. You don't want it to get to the dirt where it may take a bounce, an unfortunate bounce. So there's a lot of things that are going through your head when you're trying to make the play. Going through the first baseman's head, but he charged it. He was able to get it secured, and still have enough time to wave off Tanner and make the out. Out number 2.
0-2 count.
Sontag says, I saw Max pitch a pretty quick inning that last half of an inning. Let me see if I can go out there and do one better.
No balls and 2 strikes. It's Coquillard.
Ooh.
Hits that ball about 6 inches wide at first base. That was going to be his bid to see if he could get an extra base out of it, but great job. Look at Eric Debo down there at first base. Just gobbled that one hopper back up. And he says, I'll stuff that inside the sweatshirt here as ball hit to third base. Ruff with a nice, easy, smooth throw across the diamond. And we've played 3.5 innings. It's 2-0 Garber. Back with the bottom of the 4th in a moment on Bay County TV.
So your car is getting towed and you're not sure where to take it? Try Village Towing and Auto Repair. Our expert mechanics are here to help assist you with all your repair needs. We have over 30 years of experience with motor vehicles, so you know you're getting the best work that you can find. Stop by the shop at 2377 South Huron Road in Coquitlam or give us a call at 989-684-9607.
Back here and ready to go with the bottom of the 4th inning. And, boy, you got to love the seat that you've got out there in the left center field area. Next in line to the bathroom, next in line to your own concession stand. Still getting an opportunity to watch some great baseball. And he says, yep, I'm not happy with the score if I'm in the backyard of the Bobcats. I got to be a Bobcat fan, but we're going to see what the bottom of the fourth inning does to change that score as the Bobcats come up to bat and trying to take that shutout off the board right now. Krzyzak, the leadoff hitter for the fourth, the number one hitter in the lineup, and he wasn't quite certain how that first pitch ended up being a strike and was dropped by Pett, but umpire said it was across the plate. Great job by Burrows gobbling it up. Smooth throw over to first. One up and one down in the bottom of the fourth as Fellows just continues to throw himself a gem.
He's throwing himself a gem, and I think, now he's starting to see these guys only for the second time, whereas Fellows was up for the third time in the top of the fourth inning. So, a lot of that, you want to be able to get up there to see what the pitcher's doing. It's different from when you're in the batter's box, when you're watching from the on-deck circle. So they got to try and circle themselves through this lineup.
Let's see if Rogers can get a little mojo here as that ball goes backwards. He got in. He just didn't feel settled and comfortable. Took a quick step out and see if he could change the rhythm just a little bit of Fellows.
Well, that's the other thing is when you start seeing some pitches, make him throw some pitches, as that one's going to drop down right in front of Schmidt out in left field. Rogers will get the second hit of the day for the Bobcats.
So he's going to tell you it worked.
That's right.
He got a hittable pitch, and he was able to barrel it up. So now ball comes up as he's got a runner on first base with one out here in the bottom of the fourth. And
this is what I like about Nathan Ball. Nathan Ball right now has the power to tie this game up with one swing of the bat. But he's also a smart enough baseball player to know that they need to get some hits, they need to get something rolling. He wants to see some pitches. He's been through this. This is going to be big for him. I think this is going to be a big at-bat, and I think you're going to see something really positive pop off of this young man's bat. Let's see if that could be some Nostradamus.
Oh, my goodness. If it is, then you're buying lottery tickets.
Slicing it down.
And again, just another solid send it right back where it came from, not trying to do too much with the pitch. And just like that, 2 on and 1 out here in the bottom of the fourth inning for the Bobcats.
Well, it's not about rattling necessarily, Mr. Fellows, but they certainly are putting a little bit of pressure on him that he hasn't had yet. So Sontag had the double there in the second inning to lead off the second inning. And let's see if he can help his own cause out and move these guys around either with a hit or see if they bunt him over.
I don't see him butting anybody to third base.
Just because he hits it 378 the first time doesn't mean you can't, put one down the third base line. Look how far back he's playing.
Well, I would say if he chose to do that, he could walk to first base. I don't think that's on his mind, though, right now. I could be wrong because I'm not that good a prognosticator. That ball just a little bit up. 1 ball and 1 strike here as Sontag is still with only 1 strike. He's looking for a ball in a certain zone that he can do something with. And
I think right there, Max was hoping for that one. I think that was a strike pitch he was hoping for. And he comes back, and that one is going to be, did he call it a strike?
Well,
did the right hand come up?
He's been consistent with that pitch all game long, and he's given that fist on the outside of the plate, and 1 ball and 2 strikes to count.
I just missed it with where the backstop is.
I see.
I just it looked like it was coming up, and then I couldn't see if it extended or if he just was coming up in a natural motion. So
the last pitch was a strike, so he thought I'll slide it out a couple inches and see if
how good his eyes are.
Is in a biting mood. But a good eye at the plate, 2 balls and 2 strikes the count.
Yeah.
And outside again as Fellows brings the count full, and Sontag is going to be ready to get something hittable here with a full count.
I think Max, though, as a smart pitcher, he's not going to groove something in there. He's not, and I think that's both these pitchers. I think most of these pitchers on these staffs are, even on a 3-2 count, it's not that you're just going to try and groove one over the middle. They can still throw an off-speed pitch for a strike. They can still get the knees to buckle. And if not, there's a free base right now, and you can live to fight to the next batter. But you're not going to groove something against a Sontag.
And he throws the pitch, and Sontag swings through it, and Fellows wins this battle here in the bottom of the fourth inning. But not done yet, as Kwiklinski is going to have an opportunity with 2 outs to get that first runner more in for the John Glenn Bobcats. Boy, great first pitch.
Nice pop.
Fellows wants to get ahead, and, he's another guy that's tickling 90 miles an hour, and so you got two guys throwing a lot of gas here in the first game here of this double dip.
Like a quick Klinsky the first time in the second inning was the first pitch swinging, so getting up there that next time, this time around, to see a pitch. And, let's see what, again, make him work a little bit. See if you can see his right shoulder drop a little bit. Maybe he's to tip something to you.
Oh, and Quick Klinsky not happy, but again, how many times have we said it? That's been a strike the whole game. You got to know as a hitter that the outside part of the plate has been consistently called a strike, and you got to whack at it. 1-2 right now, and
stay out there if you are. If you're a pitcher, that's my new favorite spot. But we used to say we couldn't even hit it with our seeing eye cane. Some of those pitches out there. If we take it from the umpire, we still couldn't swing at it and hit it.
It's 2 balls and 2 strikes, and there's a high foul ball. Will that stay in play? Nope. That is going to drift just outside the dugout, and it remains 2 balls and 2 strikes as.
This is the first inning that Max has had to work a little bit. Couple of hits there by Rogers and then by Ball, and they had some things rolling in a 3-2 count, putting them out. Now it's a 2-2 count here on Kwiklinski.
Worked a little bit and having to throw some extra pitches in addition, as that ball is just missing low. The count is full right now. Kwiklinski, a nice eye at the plate.
Nice eye. That's a tough one to take right there. So it's fellas was dancing out there on the mound like, come on, man.
He was ready to hip-hop back over the line. And nice job. Kwiklinski gets a little chunk of it and fouls it off over the right side. And it'll remain 3 balls and 2 strikes here in the bottom of the 4th inning.
Runners on first and second. Ball and Rogers ball on first. Rogers on second. We'll get a little start. Full count. So anything that really goes to the outfield, Ball's going to have a chance to get his motor running. As they take off, it's going to be a throw to first.
Easy toss.
Byron Brewster to O'Leary, and Fellas isn't running off nearly as fast as he was last inning, but
he's still smiling.
He's still smiling. That kid smiles when he misses a dunk.
Back for the top of the 5th in a moment on Bay County TV.
Sports give so many opportunities to kids. It gives them an opportunity to see where they fit within a team, persevere, understanding how to work with different personalities. Those are the lessons that will make you a successful adult. As a mom, you have to have an understanding of what concussions are.
Concussions are things that are treatable. If we take care of athletes, they will be able to develop and have a long, happy, healthy life.
Back here for the top of the 5th inning, Jeff Doan, Jason Newsham, along with you, and of course, Nick Page producing, directing, filming. He's doing it all again today. And for this time of year, we're blessed with a pretty good weather day. It's around 50 degrees. We saw a few wisps of sunshine earlier, but pretty heavy cloud cover right now. But most of the players still looking like short sleeves are a possibility. As Sontag on the first pitch and just a little bit low, and
there he goes. You see it. You can see that, and that's frustrating as a pitcher. You were just at the plate, and they just called it a strike.
Well, and I don't know if the umpire thought that ball was low, and the second pitch was a little bit
lower.
So
yeah.
Sontag again. That's the nonverbal frustration that you could show to the umpire. You're not trying to show him up or anything. You're just going to take a little quick trip around and regroup, and then he comes back with a real nice bender, and it is 2-1.
Well, if he would have called that one a ball, I don't know how the body language may have come out of his skin.
Ball hit down the right field line. Big Sunday hop. That's going to be extra bases. Is rounding first and cruising into second base.
Ruff laid out for it down there at third base for the Bobcats off the top of his glove as Burrows sneaks in for a double there. But I tell you what, Ruff, he stretched out as well as he could, but, the left fielder, Kwiklinski, was playing a little bit almost straight up out there, and that ball was just the angle that it was going. It's a long run for him, so easy double.
If that ball doesn't either hit the edge of the grass or a footprint somewhere and take that high hop, I think Ruff at least gets that ball. I don't think he's able to throw him out, but he'll keep him at first base.
Keep him at first, yeah.
That ball took a huge high hop, and Ruff could not adjust quick enough to the change in trajectory of the ball.
Schmidt comes up swinging first time. He's said, I've seen enough of that outside pitch. Couldn't call the strike. So,
yep. That was a good whack and a good pitch from Sontag.
I thought right there, again, you're looking at it from a coaching standpoint, is do you try to bunt Burrows over and try to play the small ball and get that third run, or let your cleanup hitter do what he's doing, take some swings, and see if they can't drive him in that way?
Schmidt looked like he was trying to go inside out with that to see if he could push it to the right side. And now with 2 strikes on, you just need to protect yourself at the plate. And Sontag's in a great position, 0-2 as a pitcher.
Well, that's where I really enjoyed watching. That's the second time out of 3 at-bats where Schmidt goes down looking on strikes. But I think that's what I enjoy watching about Sontag is his approach, even in a situation, get up a single should turn into a double, and how are you going to bounce back? But he's coming back hard, coming back fierce. He's not giving in.
Garber Dukes again, 1 on and 1 out. Ball hit right up
Mickey
middle.
Naylor right to him.
Perfect positioning for Naylor as that ball was just tattooed by Sella, and he's like, boy, can't I hit that 10 feet left or right and have an opportunity to be still running?
Well, Nick's played a lot of center field, and I know there's a lot of comfort out there in that outfield that they've got with the Bobcats. He almost knows the players, gets a little scouting report. They've been doing, stat tracking and analysis and things of that sort since their Little League days. So they're familiar with, trends and analysis for what Garber Dukes, where they're going to play. And of course, you got to figure out, the speed of the pitcher, who's pitching, and all that other stuff. So trust me, they know what's going on out there in the Bobcat uniforms when it comes to the game of baseball.
So Burrows still at second base is another foul ball, and
we're going to have to throw some balls from the press box up here in a second.
Getting a little bit late on those swings right now as Sontag continues to come with upper 80s heat, and again, he's touched upwards of 92, but I think today about 88, 89 might be where it's at, and on a chilly day like today, that's an owie.
It's an owie, but it's like, okay, so
that's the 4th one today.
Hit an open base.
Very uncharacteristic for Sontag is
most people don't hit 4 people in a year, let alone one in 4 2/3 of an inning.
Yeah, we'll find out now, and we're starting to get to the point in the ball game too, Jason, where if there's pitch counts on these pitchers, I haven't been doing a pitch count, but I got to believe they're in the low mid 60s.
Yeah, we got a little action in the bullpen with the Bobcats have.
91. I guess I'm way off.
Well, your abacus and everything else that that one's going to be
a nailer, easy.
A nailer. I got this. But we'll talk more about pitch counts and everything else when we come back after this break.
When we find out from the experts what's really going on, instead of me being 30 off on my guess. Back in a moment on BCTV.
Thinking about high-quality education with highly qualified teachers and a wide variety of quality programs? Look no further than Bay City Public Schools.
There's wonderful teachers, wonderful educators, administrators. It's a great place to go to school.
We include everybody, and we have a very diverse student base.
At Bay City Public Schools, the teachers are truly there to see the students succeed.
Bay City Public Schools, exceptional opportunities for all. Call us to enroll today, 989-686-9700.
Back here to the Bobcat half of the 5th inning as Ruff comes up to the plate, down 2-0 right now, and Fellows has got a nice little groove going, and Ruff has a good pitch to hit and swings through it. 0-1 count.
Yeah, Ruff first time up, bounced out. Interested to see if we can get Max again. I keep saying it on purpose, but we've got to, if you're a Bobcat fan, if you're a Bobcat player, you got to start making Max work a little bit. We're talking maybe low 60s right now with his pitch count.
I'm not even guessing after I was up so far on Sontag. So.
Yeah, you were close. you were within 50. He's at 54. Now it'll be 55 pitches coming up here. Again, efficiently, smooth. Still got some juice left. That's 40 pitches less than his counterpart, and your body starts wearing after a little while. especially in this weather.
So is he still in what we call the easy gas mode?
Yeah, he's just cruising. I tell you what, that ball's going to get through that backstop at one point. That's the third straight rough foul ball that hits the same spot. So.
And that hit right off of the crossbar up top there, too. So
no good. Field goal's no good.
We only get about 2 new ones, and what a great pitch and catches Ruff. And Ruff seems to turn around going, man, that ball is just a touch outside.
Well, when your breaking ball is breaking, and then even worse, breaks so late it breaks on the outside, that's tough.
Well, and again, that pitch has been there all day long from the umpire. You got to adjust as a hitter. And strike one again.
This is Remington Rank. Rank was a first-time swinger, his first time up, so glad to see him take one there.
Swing and a miss for strike 2 as Fellows,
I tell you,
looking comfortable right now.
Just the velocity just looks a lot different when you pop off a 70-mile-per-hour off-speed pitch, and then all of a sudden your fastball just looks 20 miles per hour faster, and it's really not, but it just pops off a little bit different.
1 ball, 2 strikes to count.
Watch his arm slot right there. He's just working that outside corner. It's going to be out number 2 for the Bobcats here in the bottom of the 5th.
And, he's predominantly worked the outside third most of the game, but why not? If that's the pitch that you're getting, it's a little tough for those hitters as McKenzie's going to try and change that now for the Bobcats, but it's a little bit tough to catch up with that. And McKenzie, probably more than the other hitters, a little farther back, so he might be able to lean in and get something on that outside third and send it to right center.
First pitch a little inside 1-0. No.
As he was looking to go that way, 1 ball, 1 strike. I wouldn't say looking to go that way. That's where the ball was headed. You might be just a tick late on the swing, and that's where it's going. But I think that's what his intent was, to go to right field. I'm going with it.
We'll go with that one. Just like back in your days.
And that's when I played, right center field was where I loved. That's where I could drive the ball, and I had a lot of fun going that direction. And most people think everybody's pull happy, and now McKenzie's done a great job of working the count 3-1.
Yeah, it was a little off speed, a little high. You're almost right in his wheelhouse, actually, but he laid off of it. 3-1 count.
There's Fellows coming right back in his friendly spot right on the outside third.
Yeah, but that's what we talk about both these pitchers. A 3-1 count isn't a gimme. They're not just going to groove it down there and hope that they get a strike. They're going to battle. As he paddles back right there, 2 of his better pitches, strikes out McKenzie to end the 5th. We are going to go to the top of the 6th. The score: the Garber Dukes 2, John Glenn Bobcats 0. We'll be right back here on BCTV.
In life, things aren't scripted.
If you're an athlete, we need people like you and translate those skills to officiating.
You can get a lot out of it. It happens in every town, in every game.
We never have a perfect game, but the rewards always outweigh the negativities.
Back here on BCTV, we've got a little change on the mound as Debo comes in to pitch for the John Glenn Bobcats, as Sontag was around 100 pitches, and so he'll move to shortstop. Krzyzak moves over to second base, and from our quick naked eye look, it looks like those are the changes we're going to see here for the top of the 6th.
Yeah, so far, Braden Debo, the junior, coming in. Again, another player with a lot of experience with Little League All-Stars and state championships and things of that sort. So he's been around the Northwest Little League fields for quite a few years, and had been up here on John Glenn. He pitched last year, if I'm not mistaken, the game that we did in the county tournament.
That pitch just outside. Now, Debo, reputation-wise, comes in around 82, 83 miles an hour. Good secondary pitch, and so you're talking about a 7-8 mile an hour differential to Sontag. And there's a pitch on the outside third that's been a strike all day long. Continues to be a strike, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
It doesn't continue. It just is. It's a great pitch, great play. And there's your off speed as it's going to foul down, and Ruff will pick it up in foul territory. And
Ruff's glad he didn't have to pick that up on the backhand and make the long throw across the diamond. Remains 1 ball and 2 strikes here in the top of the 6th inning. Still 2-0. Garber on top over John Glenn. Glad to have you along here as our first baseball game of the year of our spring. And, boy, if that was close to being a strike, patient umpire goes, wow. A little tough to call that strike 3 when it goes off the corner of the mid of the catcher, so it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, I'm sure he was probably analyzing that just like you were in that split second of a decision. You know how it is as an official. We make all the right decisions.
Absolutely. Never made a mistake ever.
So Pet being up to the bat. I think that's the other thing, talking about getting through the lineup. This is going to be once the Braves, who's on deck right now, fellas, it'll be his fourth time up here. So, you get a chance to see somebody, a pitcher, that many times. You start noticing things, and, now's a good time. Debo comes in and trying to work the outside corner there. And, wondered the Bobcats will come up in the bottom of the 6th inning, and they'll start seeing Max for the 3rd time through. So, see if they can put something together and put their heads together and see if they see and have noticed anything about any of his pitches. As that one right there is a called ball. A little high. Guess it pays to be, not 6'6". That's my problem. Everything was always a strike. I had such a strike zone.
Yeah, your zone was big. But, I like what Debo's doing because he has seen the rhythm of the umpire and his balls and strikes, so he's trying to play that outside third just like the rest of them have. And a little small ball right now is
nice scoop by McKenzie. And again, you got Ball going to be backing up down there, but if he doesn't get that ball, there's a good chance that Pet ends up at least on 2nd, if not 3rd.
Did you see the turf fly when Ball made his first couple of steps to back that up? He's like, I'm going to get there in a hurry, and he might have to replace a little piece of sod out there as he got rocking. As that ball goes just down the first baseline, and
I've never bunted
a foul.
I've never bunted a ball and watched it. You bunt and you wait for the official or the umpire to say foul.
Yep. And the last thing, you don't want to stand there because you don't want to interfere with the catcher having to come out for it. You want to get after it and get to first base and stretch it out.
Contact and get out.
1 ball, 1 strikes. Nobody out. Debo to the set.
That's a double. That should be a foul ball.
And that ball hit the plate, and it is a foul ball, and it will be 1 ball and 2 strikes.
No, what it did is it hit not only the plate, but it came back up and hit the bat again. Is
that 2 strikes or 1?
Well, if he was out of the box, I believe it's an out. So he's got to be really careful about how he did it. But that little double tap, and you can't fake the noise on these bats. If it's going to hit it for the 2nd time, you're going to hear it.
It better make a sound for $400.
Sweet.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Quick throw by Debo back over to McKenzie at first base.
Again McKenzie
scooping it.
He's it's like a Millar's Appliance future is in his future, but if he keeps scooping, he's going to be doing maybe Dairy Queen.
He's got grandpa's size out there. That's good stuff, too. And there's a line drive right up the middle, and Krejciak could not quite get to it as the Garber Dukes make a little noise here to start the 6th.
Well, you come in as a new pitcher, and it's a lot different. Sometimes it works in your advantage to see somebody else, especially these guys where Pet and Bray both were struggling the first couple times at bat against Sontag. And, pitch count aside, you look at that when you're a coach and you try to figure out when you want to bring somebody in because now you're at the top of the order, and Max Fellas will try to get these runners moving in the blue uniforms on the base path. They look a little Smurfy-like out there. It's one of them had a red hat. I'd call him Papa. We're in real baby blue out here.
It's really going to be interesting now because I think what he wants in the worst way is for Fellows to pull something to at least get that runner to third base with less than 2 outs. So 2 on and nobody out. Fellows at the plate. First pitch on the outside is Debo really working the outside third on both the right-handed and the left-handed batters.
I think it's also interesting to note that even though he gave up a couple of hits right here, got first and second, that no visits from any of the coaches, to calm him down again. Rogers went out and called time and talked to this pitcher. As that one popped up, that's going to be an infield fly. Is that the old infield fly?
Yes, sir, it is.
Well,
it can be anywhere on the outfield grass as long as it's a routine effort by the infielder. And
Sonntag drifted into his routine spot. I tell you now, as a coach, you're probably going, Max, why didn't you bunt?
Thought I had a pitch I could handle, Coach. I'm going to tell you that every time.
Back in hindsight, folks. I have never missed a pitch in hindsight.
2 on and 1 out for the Garber Dukes.
That was what Debo was. Couldn't have asked for anything better than that right there.
Yes.
Just focus on the batters.
Strike 1.
Plus, Max being a left-handed hitter really screws up that outside corner that he's been aiming for.
As Coke Willard had a nice whack at that first pitch, and Debo ahead in the count, 0-1.
Sun peeking out a little bit here in the top of 6.
Boy, just little tiny peaks to remind us that it is springtime, and there's another high pop-up. McKenzie's going to try and get to this. Look at Debo. Oh, yeah, it's a great job. Like a catcher gets rid of his mask, Debo gets rid of the hat, and he says, I'll be able to scoop this in.
We got a couple extra up here. I think we should get him a smaller one that fits.
Yeah, how about a great athletic move? That's a long run from coming off the mound, and didn't look like the pitcher or the catcher or the first baseman, McKenzie, were going to be able to get to that ball, and he just went after it and said, this one's mine.
Well, I'll tell you what, you got first and second, no outs, and Debo really buckled down. And, we talked about it a second ago. Nobody came out. Nobody's panicking on the white uniforms. They know they got their lineup coming back around, and they're going to get another chance at Fellows. So keep this game 2-0, keep this game 3-0 type deal, and give us a chance here in the last 2 innings.
Big at bat right now with Burrows at the plate.
He came up big last time with a double down third base line that went off of Ruff's glove. So, and he's been on a couple of times, and he's been getting that second base. He's been stealing second base. So, good base running IQ. Not sure the speed's necessarily, the top of the line, the Vince Coleman type of the 80s, but definitely knows how to be a base runner.
Vinny Coleman, you're going back into the archives, and nice job getting back at second base. That's a nice play too, and you're just keeping that runner at second base from getting the extra couple of steps heading to third, so that he's got to work a little harder if, in fact, Burrows gets something out of the infield and see if he can score.
Debo takes a nice deep breath right there as he looks in, gets a sign, delivers.
Oh, good whack by Burrows, and just had enough elevation on that pitch. Debo got it past him, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Well, if he cuts his hair, does the hat stay on? I mean, it's the hair is beautiful. He's got some locks, maybe because I'm bald.
Yep, well, and
he keeps taking it off, taunting me.
We're both envious from that standpoint. 1 ball and 1 strike once again, and Burrows again going after that high heat, and Debo just throws it past him, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Be a big pitch right here for Burrows. Debo's got him, again, right where he wants him. He's got him back. 2 outs, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Looking in, take a look at the runners, but don't put too much focus on him. You want to get the guy at the plate. So breaking ball says Charlie.
What a great pitch as he snaps one off, and Burrows swings right through it. Heading to the bottom of the 6th with the visitors, the Garber Dukes, up 2-0 right here on BCTV. Inside, outside, or even in your home, there are lots of ways to enjoy amazing food from Bay City Bills. Our dining room is ready for you, and we are ready for you with takeout too. Stop in to Bay City Bills at 1215 Michigan Avenue, or find us on Facebook or at www.baycitybills.com to see our full menu. Back here for the bottom of the 6th inning, Jeff Doan, Jason Newsham. And we're glad to have you along. Nick Page producing, directing, filming, doing it all. Here the John Glenn Bobcats hoping that the bats warm up against Mr. Fellows, who has been in control most of the ball game, and pitch count still well within his realm.
First pitch strike. We talked about that at the 2nd inning, just how important for all these pitchers are to come in and get that first pitch, just to allow you to navigate a little bit more your pitching decision making, I guess, kind of figure out what you want to do and not necessarily be stuck making that having a groove one down. As Nicky Nethersons went down the right field line.
Oh, what a nice effort by the right fielder Schmidt. I didn't think he had a chance to get near that, and he really covered a lot of ground to make it at least a close play.
Well, Mom's not very happy. It was a foul ball, and you just dove, and now we got grass stains on our uniform.
Tied stick.
Oh, man, we could be doing commercials here. As Nick Naylor goes down 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Well, and that was a position that Cam Rowley played last year, and Mom, that's the first thing she would think of, too. Oh, boy, have to get the tied stick out and make those white pants white again.
I tell you, going back to this at-bat right here, Naylor making fellas work as he fouls another one off. And just enough to keep him honest, and Naylor will be on with the leadoff single here in the bottom of the 6th.
Boy, had a nice little C&I, too, as Sella out there thought for a minute about trying to go after it, but his baseball mindset said, let me pick that thing up cleanly and keep him in front of me. You make a mistake, and that runner Naylor's on third base.
Right. Now we're turning the lineup back over to the top as I would consider Nick to be almost a leadoff hitter, so you almost started this inning off with 2 leadoff hitters as Krzyzak steps into the batter's box. And now they're going to take a couple of pitches. It's late in the game. Max is maybe tiring a little bit. Maybe leave one of these curve balls or change-ups hanging up just a little bit. Bobcats take advantage of it.
Just a little bit outside and trying to get Naylor to go back to first base, but O'Leary wasn't close enough to the bag to make that throw. But how about Krzyzak and a good hitters count here at 2-0?
Great hitters count. I would love to see something in the green out in the outfield. Well,
he squared one up, just could not get it to go in the right direction, but 2 balls and 1 strike. That was a great pitch and a healthy rip.
Yeah, Max, competitor that he is on the mound, he's not going to give an inch on this battle. Starting off 2-0, comes back 2-1, gets a sign, delivers.
Ball down in the dirt.
Yeah.
Trying to change the bat speed of Krzyzak. And, Fellows has just got that momentary look to first base. And Naylor's over there just reminding him that he's got one more thing to worry about. As he comes back to the outside, and Krzyzak says, I'm going to be patient and wait to make sure that there's no call there. But, again, I see just that little bit of change in his delivery, and Eric Debo is going to go out right now and have a quick little chat. And I think he may have sensed the same thing that we saw, that just don't worry about it, man. Right now the most important thing is just throw your pitches, take a couple of deep breaths. I want to see if we can get ourselves out of this. But, when you talk about hitters making their third rotation through the lineup, there's a little different rhythm in the way you're seeing a pitcher for the third at-bat.
Yeah, there is. And looking back, as a pitcher myself, I never thought of it like that when they were coming up for the third time. You mowed them down maybe the first 2 times, and you tried to do the same thing and not realizing you just can't. You got to keep things fresh. And this fellow comes in. Rogers' first pitch swinging is going to send that one out of play. Bring up no balls, 1 strike.
And again, not having to look back Krzyzak at first base, I think just changes his delivery that little bit, that he's able to get strike 1 here. And that ball's at third, and a quick play down to first base and able to get the lead runner. And that's pretty good stuff for Fellows, as 1 out right now in the inning and no advancement of the runners.
Nope. Still at first and second. Brings up Nathan Ball. Nathan hit a hard single last time up to bat.
Right up the middle.
Trying to figure out, they're trying to get another baseball.
So they're going to.
I called it last time. I thought Ball being patient. I think he's maybe first pitch taken seems to be what he's done, whether it's consistent or just kind of how he wants to get himself into a rhythm. But
he's a veteran hitter, though. I think if he sees something he likes, he's going to get after it. And that pitch right at the top of the zone.
Yeah, I think that's what he looked back and had that nice little conversation saying, break, where to break.
I'm only 6'3". I'm not 6'8". And he gets hit as the bases are now loaded. As
he gets hit, he throws his bat and almost takes out half his team. That's That's when you just want to say, hey, guys, here's the bat, and take your frustration out on someone else.
Well, and this is a situation where Fellows totally disregarded the even a quick look back to second base, and credit the base runners for understanding what was going on in that situation, and they got a great running start on the way to third base.
Yeah. Who brings up Tanner Sontag, who's doubled in the second inning, and also the starting pitcher for the Bobcats. Right now, the pitcher of record for the Bobcats if they do not come back here. So he would love nothing more than to put that onus off of his win-loss record. And this will be, again, his third time seeing Fellows through, so he's 1 for 2 at the plate.
Fellows with the windup and the delivery, and starts with a little off speed to Sontag right now. And
well, Sontag saw bases loaded, nobody out there in the second inning, so he understands that Fellows isn't going to necessarily just back down, as that one's going to be popped up high. Should get a run in as everybody moves into their rotation and hit your cutoff man, or not. As they get run number 1 as Krzyzak crosses home plate, puts the lead, cuts the lead in half, 2-1 in favor of the Dukes.
And this is a situation with still 2 on and 2 out. Another opportunity for the Bobcats to even the score.
Good defensive decision by Sella, the center fielder out there, not trying to throw Krzyzak out at home. Make sure you keep your runners at first and second. You throw that ball home, you start throwing the ball around, that's when bad things happen.
Kwiklinski is at the plate, and nice job that time, as Fellows said. They've been strikes all day long. I'm going to just try and move my glove in about 1.5 inches and hope I can entice a strike.
Well, if he gets out of this inning, you wonder if they'll come back in the bottom of the 7th with Sella, who's more of a junk ball pitcher, and really throw off the trajectory of the speed and the velocity that Fellows has given him through 6 innings.
I'm not certain they would do that, because I think he may be pitching the second game, so I don't know. His coach Jess Monka makes things happen, knows his staff way better than I do, but boy, do you warm somebody up to end the first game and then come back to pitch the second game. But I don't have any rosters set for the second game. That's only speculation on my part. But Bobcats late, being a little aggressive on the base path.
Well, right now, if it's 2 balls, 1 strike. Depending on where this pitch is at, maybe you just do a little automatic walk. You got a free base out there now, and then would allow Max to go back to the windup, where he feels a little bit more comfortable, as shown earlier.
Well, I don't think you intentionally want to put the go-ahead run in scoring position, so we'll find out how he attacks this 3-1 pitch. There's a high foul ball back up over the top of the backstop, and the count is full with 2 outs, and Kwiklinski's going to have another opportunity to get a good whack in here.
Ball, the runner at first, compliments of using his arm, getting hit there. He will get off. Now the bases go loaded on the walk, and Max, like I said, now you go back, a quick little timeout. Hayden Ruff coming up to bat, the sophomore. Called his name quite a few times down there at third base, made quite a few plays, and made quite a few things happen over there. Now he has a chance to put his team ahead.
Let's go for a second inside the head of Coach Hart. He's saying, hey, I think he's saying a lot of pitches been thrown. Let's be patient up here at the plate and make sure that we're getting a pitch that we can handle.
Put it out there in the grass.
The outfield grass.
The outfield grass.
Fellows again down low with the first, and they've already used their 1 trip to the mound, so the next trip to the mound is going to be a pitching change. So I think it's on Fellows right now to dig himself out of this.
Ooh, I tell you what, I don't know that I would have swung until I got a strike, and I don't know if that was a conversation, but let him throw you a strike. He's been struggling.
It's been a long inning indeed for Fellows. And a great stop that time by Pett to keep that ball in front of him. 2 balls and 1 strike, and no offering at the plate, as confirmed by our base umpire.
I'm pretty sure the one he swung at was a ball as well, so he could be looking at a 3-0 count. So there's a lot to be said. Make him throw a strike when he is struggling right now in this 6th inning.
And the ball right in a perfect spot for Max Fellows, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
That has been the perfect spot. If you're going to go back to something right now, go back there. They've had trouble putting contact on the ball when it's been out there.
They haven't been able to get real solid contact on that outside pitch. And he gets himself out of trouble with a strike 3 on Ruff. And at the end of 6 innings, the John Glenn Bobcats inch closer as they're down 2-1. Back for the 7th inning in a moment on BCTV.
All right, this is Adam. Take 2. Mark?
I guess.
I go like this.
The best part about playing football in Texas has to be the reaction from the community.
I want to encourage others to play volleyball or choir because you get to experience new things and do stuff that you've never done before. My reason why is passion.
My reason why is pride.
Back here for the top of the 7th inning as the Garber Dukes come up to bat and see if they can give Mr. Fellows a little bit of extra run support. There's a high, deep drive. Look at the great jump by Quicklinski. Goes back and makes it look easy.
Well, why not? Playing great spot. The outfield has played really well. Naylor out there in center field a couple of times, and we haven't had anything go out to right field, so ball's kind of getting a little bored out there, but certainly making up for it as number 1 steps into the batter's box, Sella.
So Sella with 1 out against Debo, and
there we go.
that spot's been consistently a strike, and that thing just whistled right up under Sella's hands. There wasn't a lot he was going to be able to do with that pitch.
Well, he is standing. He's got his nice closeness to the box, and there's
turned on that one pretty well on the inside third.
Tell you what, though, you're going to keep going back to the inside. He did a nice job. That's one of the very few sound baseballs that have come off the bats tonight. A lot of the balls that have been coming off have not nearly hit sound as good as that one.
No balls and 2 strikes with 1 out in the top of the 7th. And there's a little looper that is going to be perfectly positioned by Naylor. Looked like that left his bat was destined to be a base hit, and Naylor had it played perfectly.
Yeah, he just does a lot of nice things out there. It's natural position. A lot of kids don't like playing outfield. They don't like that stigma. Well, you can't play on shortstop, so you're going to be the right fielder. But when you got a lineup that looks like that out there that can do a lot of different things, gives a lot of pitchers nightmares out there. That lineup does.
First pitch with 2 outs, is a ball to the outside from Debo.
Yeah, the other thing about John Glenn is their defense being so talented. We talk about that in football and basketball specifically, but when you have a defensively talented baseball team, it really makes your pitchers feel a lot less pressure when they go out there. They don't have to try to strike everybody out or overthrow. That's a strike.
Boy, O'Leary just froze on that bender from Debo. What a great pitch.
I think Debo was even getting a little smile on that one. He thought that was a nice pitch.
It started right at O'Leary and now goes back to the outside and mixing it up.
Move it around a little bit. Gives Roger a little shoulder shrug, plays with the hair, make sure it goes all back.
As best he can. That's a full head of hair. That makes you and I jealous.
He's a Pert Plus head and shoulders type of guy. Ooh, nice. Yeah, you try to get him to chase. You can do that on a 2-2 pitch. As now the count goes full, 3 balls, 2 strikes.
And that curveball, that's a field pitch, and certainly the one before he spun it perfectly, and he might have wanted that ball to be low and outside, hoping that he would be offering at it. Full count pitch with 2 outs. And right back at it. Would have been right in your solar plexus, Jason, but that would have just bounced off and you wouldn't even have flinched.
You're like Gorilla Monsoon, the solar plexus. Showing off your WWF commentary skills.
Full count once again.
Got a little wave with the glove. He doesn't really show what necessarily that's going to be unless that's a fastball. He's got a little A lot more action, a lot more. Again, it's changed, but back in the day, you had to stay still. You couldn't if you started dropping your hands or flapping your glove a little bit, it would be a balk. Or
things have been modified. Yeah, just a little bit over the decades.
Thanks.
Full count. And strike three as Debo throws a gem here in the top of the seventh.
A little swagger coming off the mound. He's confident, and he should be. As we're going to head to the bottom of the seventh.
We'll be back in just a moment to see what the John Glenn Bobcats can do with their final bats in regulation here on BCTV.
Is your pain holding you back from things you enjoy, like playing with your grandchildren or participating in a sport? At Collier Chiropractic, we specialize in neck pain, back pain, headaches, or sciatica that won't go away. If you've tried chiropractic, you've tried physical therapy, you've gone to your medical doctor with no results, or you take medication and it doesn't even touch your pain, then put this number in your phone, give us a call, see how we're different at Collier Chiropractic Bay City.
Back here, ready to roll with the bottom of the seventh inning. McKenzie up first against Fellows.
We're going to go Remington Rank first. Remington Rank.
All right. And then
Colton Beeson step into the on-deck circle. And
for McKenzie.
Yeah, exactly. We've been saying the name so much, you just assumed.
And now with only 10 pitches left, certainly that's going to change the way Fellows is attacking these batters as he'll get to his pitch count and a ball.
Yeah, that's
strike three. And are they going to be able to get that thing down to first base? Look at the scoop at first base.
That was the most odd-looking thing I think I've seen in a while. I didn't know if it was a foul ball. It wasn't called a foul ball, but I think Rank thought it was a foul ball, and he didn't even get a running start till.
I think that's
what Mr. Coach Hart's going to ask. I didn't. He just missed it.
Well,
he missed it with the bat, and the catcher missed it with the glove, and
he's going to make the substitution change here with Beeson coming up to bat.
Naylor on deck. So here's the other thing: we got 10 pitches. Take some pitches. I can tell you a story about Little League back in the day between Nick Dardis and Hayden Yachak that was just an epic situation where Yachak was down to a couple of pitches, and Dardis goes up there and he swings at him just to get, because he was going to try and walk him, and so he could get to the next batter, and Dardis would swing at the pitches that were being thrown for the intentional walk, and made Yachak hit his pitch count, and Northwest would beat Southwest in that game by 1-0. A lot to be said about pitch counts.
Two great young baseball talents there.
Great. And they were great back then. You could see what they were destined for. As Fellows hits a second batter. So we've had 6 hits batsmen in this game one.
It's something that we don't see that much indeed, but you got a combined record of only 2 losses for these two clubs. So early on in the season, they have certainly been able to make it happen. And I believe both of these teams, their one loss on the year came in that county tournament. As Fellows gets ahead of Naylor 0-2 and live it on that outside corner the first 2.
I would stick with it. You got Krzyzak on deck. Turn the lineup over and trying to get fancy right now. Stick with what's been going best for you tonight, young fella. And, woof, I was about to say great pitch. I can still say it was a great pitch.
Yeah, it was a perfectly positioned pitch, and it was close enough that our home plate umpire had to take a little extra look at it.
I'm going to go one on this one.
They'll get the runner at first base. And
lead runner gets a second, though.
Probably a good move because it wasn't a sure out at second base, so a good baseball move that time by Burrows.
Now, Beeson's got good speed and getting off there a little bit, and all of a sudden now we've got a back to the top of the lineup. They're going to walk them.
Yep.
That way you don't waste a pitch.
Yep.
Now, in Little League, don't they add 4 pitches, or can you just walk somebody in Little League?
You can just, used to be able to just walk them.
Yeah, so if it doesn't go against pitch count here, and it's going to bring up Brady Rogers to try and extend this game for the Bobcats. So Krijak now at first base, Beeson at second base, 2 outs.
Ball just misses outside, and
so this should be Fellows' last batter if they are able to still pitch the batter out.
And if he's patient up here, he may run Fellows out of pitches without even having to swing the bat. Right. Fellows got to be down to 1 or 2 pitches left.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So even if he hits it, he doesn't have to go until after this batter. So this would more than likely be his final batter of the contest with Rogers at the plate.
Just a little bit behind on that ball that goes down the right field line. 2 balls and 1 strike. 2 outs. Beeson on second. Krijak on first. Garber up by a run. This is a great way to start off our 23 spring baseball season, Jason.
Oh, I tell you, as we talked about at the top, and we were expecting a dandy. And we are getting a dandy. Now 2 balls, 2 strikes as Rogers takes that one, takes a deep breath, steps out of the box, and steps back in and says, all right, let's go.
Well, and that ball was up at the top of the zone, so probably wasn't a pitch he wanted to connect with. So we'll find out what happens now with 2-2 count. Foul ball out of play behind the backstop again, and a lot of foul balls in this game. If they were at Coryell, they'd be giving out a whole lot of popcorn.
Popcorn machine's broke. Ring pops for the foul balls.
Yes, indeed. Again, the 2-2 pitch coming up from Fellows. A swing and a miss, our final score in our ball game. The Garber Dukes win the first game of the doubleheader, 2-1. We'll be back in a moment. We're going to put the wraps on this great baseball game in a moment on BCTV. Back here on our post-game wrap-up on Bay County TV, Jeff Doan and Jason Newsham. We thought we were going to see a great ball game today, and we certainly were not disappointed.
Not at all. Even if you're a John Glenn fan and a baseball fan at that, you saw a lot of great actions. You saw pitchers get into some jams, also pitchers way out of some jams. You saw some good defensive plays out there. Tip your hat, both teams. Garber gets the win here in Game 1, and don't know what Game 2 is going to bring, but the idea behind it is at least Garber at least gets that conference win and gives them a little leg up.
Fellows goes the distance, has to use the maximum amount of his pitch count to make it happen. A little bit of strategy at the end. They would rather face Rogers, obviously, than Krijak, but made it happen, and he was able to end the game with a strikeout with 2 runners on base, the tying and winning run.
Yeah, I think, when you have an open base in that situation, pitch count aside, still Krijak being the dangerous leadoff hitter that he is, you're trying to play the odds and the percentages of what you've had better success. And it's just not about this game. It's been maybe last year when they pitched, or even fall ball and in summer ball when they pitched against each other. Try to figure out where your best matchups are. Again, the chess matches between the baseball managers, and we have 2 great minds out there tonight. And again, Coach Hart could be disappointed with not getting the victory, but certainly not with the effort.
When you look at this game, a lot of players in motion, a lot of running on the bases, but 6 hit batters is something that you don't normally see a lot of.
No, I think, we see that. Personally, used to see that a lot when the temperatures were colder, and the pitchers with that, the grip of the ball and things of that sort, and with it being 50 degrees and, but you also had 2 really hard throwing pitchers out there and that, a little overthrow here, a little overthrow there, and you're getting inside a little too close to the batter. So, certainly that was one part of the game, I think, shore up a little bit. But, Leland O'Leary got hit 3 out of the 4 times, so it's not like he hit a bunch of players. Yep. He just hit 2.
Yeah, he'll be a little sore for the second game. But, it's a great way to start our season off. Central Western softball coming up next week, but great way to start our season. We thank you all for being part of it. I'm Jeff Doan along with Jason Newsham. Great job by Nick Page again. We'll look forward to seeing you next week.